We talk about the Morgan Dollar series on a regular basis. We love those coins, right? The Wild West, the expansion. But the last silver dollar to circulate in this country had another great story. The Roaring 20s, and then it faded out right in the middle of the Depression in the 1930s. Well, tonight we're going to spend a few seconds talking about one of the last silver dollars ever struck. And tonight, special pricing. Gotta love it. So the peace dollar was introduced in 1921. It was the child of the American public wanting a coin to celebrate peace. So we did it without Congress, the only coin in U.S. history to do so. It pushes forward and it's a wonderful thing. We get hooked up on the design of the reverse. Everybody loved the idea of modernizing liberty and going from the Morgan Dollar look and feel to the Statue of Liberty look, what you're seeing right here. But we couldn't decide on the reverse because all of the eagles in our coinage throughout the 1800s, including the Morgan Dollar, had arrows in the talons of the eagle. This is supposed to be a peace coin celebrating peace. So finally, somebody says, let's use what? An olive branch. Ding, 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 fixed, and it goes on to become this. The last silver dollar ever struck for circulation. Now, the Eisenhower did come out in the 1970s. Those were copper nickel in circulation. The silver Ikes were made only for collectors. So this is the last of the silver. This big 90% silver, 38.1 millimeters silver. Gorgeous. So the peace dollar is introduced in 1921. They make it a high relief. They got to fix it. So in 1922, we're ready to go. Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco charge. We make coins up through 1928, and then we stop. No coins in 29, 30, 31, 32, or 33. We have a 5-year hiatus of no silver dollars being struck. Partly due to what was going on at that time in history, what happened in 1929, the stock market crash, and it was just a different world adjusting to these modernization of things, right? Well, they bring back the peace dollar in 1934. Kind of like first year of issue, second time around. And then in 1935, they discontinue it again, and it's the last silver dollar ever struck. So these last 2 years, the 34s and 35s, are just difficult because they didn't make that many. And finding them in any condition is one thing, but finding them like this. Now, 1934 is a special year just because of how few they made, as I just referenced. There were 24 peace dollars. And again, that's between 1921 and 1935. As an example here, 1922, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco each struck a coin. That's 3 coins. 22P, 22D, 22S. So there's 24 peace dollars in all. So it's a very much opportunity available collection to get your hands on. Problem is finding a few of these later dates, high quality, etc. Now, let's talk about that. Yes, what does super slider mean? Years ago, my colleague Don Davis, who talked almost as fast as I do, referenced that when we're talking about uncirculated, if I pause in the wrong spot, it's 1 or 2 grades. It could be totally misleading, and that's the last thing in the world we want to do. Because an about uncirculated coin is an AU50 to an AU59. If I talk about uncirculated as a coin, that's a 60 or higher. And many of these very special coins, it is significantly more expensive when you get to the 60 plus category. So what we do is we call them super sliders. They are AU, about uncirculated condition. They'll range between a 53 to a 55 in grade. As you can tell here, this little grouping we have tonight on these 2 very special coins, wow. I mean, they look unk. And that's what they're supposed to. They're supposed to slide by as an unk, but technically send them into one of the grading surfaces. They're going to come back and tell you, no, kind of close, but not there. And that's exactly why they're priced like this. Because an uncirculated coin from either of these 2 would be north of $600, $700 each in today's marketplace. Now, the trick, the way I look at it, is value for your money. Your bang for your buck, right? And when you look at circulated coins, fine 12s, VF20s, which are beautiful coins, love them. And they're at that $69, $79, $89 range. And then you jump to what? $500, $600 for uncirculated. Well, if on the grading scale, if a 12 is at a couple dollars less than this, but a 60, which is a couple grades higher, is that much more? You want to, about uncirculated needs to be closer to the circulated grade on the price side. If this coin was priced at $400 or $500, even though they're beautiful and they're just as rare as those uncirculated, I might say, hey, for the extra 100 or the extra 200, it's time to go to Unk if you can afford it. When you see a coin this beautiful and this high grade that is closer to the circulated price, changes everything. Now, there are 24 coins, as I referenced, in the entire series. Both of these rank in the top 10. The 34p is number 4 on the lowest mintage figure chart at only 954,000 coins struck. The 1934D, right, ranks number 8. Now, on this D as well, the mint mark will be below the word 1 at the bottom of the tail, give or take 7 o'clock. We'll show that to you in a second. The 34D is significant in history for one reason. It's the last silver dollar ever struck at the Denver Mint. And somebody says, well, no, the Silver Eagle. No. They haven't struck a Denver Mint Silver Eagle. The 34D is the last of Denver's silver dollars. Unique part of history. Now, some other things just to think about. Part of falling in love with these coins is falling in love with the period of time. We're talking almost 100 years ago, right? We're 2025 right now, and these are 91 years old. What was going on in 1934? It was at the peak of the Depression. Remember Roosevelt's New Deal started in 34. The SEC, the FCC, all these regulatory groups were being put together to make sure that kind of a crash never happens again and hurts the American public. Guys, give me a 30-second clock, please. I'm down to my last couple on both fronts. But I like to remember 34 for a couple of things, just storylines. First of all, the Gold Reserve Act forced all of the federal banks to push all their gold to where? To the Federal Reserve. But the other 2, 3 are kind of in my wheelhouse, right? It's the first ever Three Stooges movie. Now, come on, that means something. But the other is the gangster in all of us, right? Bonnie and Clyde die in April, and John Dillinger dies in July. That's all going on. My competition, again, for the same coin you're looking at right now, are upwards of $199. It's the largest retail company in the country. We're half their price, better quality. Give us a call.